Also had this realization this morning after my dream that our generation has a lot like a low birth rate, and you think that's because like there's something wrong with whatever. And I think instead, like, there's less people working as well. So I think instead of just giving money to potential couples or whatever, and you're also trying to incorporate like cryptocurrencies into the market. So that all kind of means that society as we know it in like the city life is kind of going down, and men are understanding that realization. That's why they're just leaving, going out into the city to buy everything or go shopping. So I'm just saying that instead of like trying to make potential couples conform to an old way of life, aka driving everywhere and or whatever. We should instead just better promote the way of life of staying home, and the money that can be, I don't know, made. No. Like, if you want men to be in your society more, you gotta go to them, and they are in their house. They're not leaving anywhere. So, however that would kind of look like, because men are not getting married anymore, and men are not going out and meeting women anymore. So you can't really bring them into your said society with all these riots and violence. They're not going to go there. So you got to better adapt to their way of life of not moving around the world and not moving to the cities and everything. Got to adapt to them by I don't know. You just got to let the free market. Like, don't subsidize a lifestyle. Like, just stop subsidizing a lifestyle which no one really associates with anymore. Rather, subsidize a lifestyle where the men of today are going toward. The men of today are not being over social by working in the city anymore. So you gotta follow that trend and stop trying to change them as they are in their own unmoving hermit way of life that has kind of been developing, and instead conform your own self, conform your own society to be, or just get rid of such a society that is taxing down the antisocial men. You don't want to be part of it. And then that would probably save you a lot of money and also kind of produce wealth despite produce wealth in a population that doesn't have a concrete society as we've known it for the past 100 years or whatever, because we're going into a era where we don't need a society, we don't need a localized grocery store, bar, all these archaic societal functions. So if you want these types of men to have children again, because no one's having kids anymore, women are complaining that they can't find any men. You got to find some way to adapt to such a lifestyle that men are living, so that your population, your country population, will be normalized despite the archaic societal structure which is dying today. And that's all kind of tied to the internet and everything. I'm not really too sure what that would look like, but if you want your population to increase, you got to look at the men who are antisocial to see that they're not going 20 miles down the road to find a girlfriend anymore. It's just simply that this old way of thinking about going through life has kind of gone to the wayside, and a government shouldn't be so old school as to try and cling on to an old system like that, but instead adapt itself to the modern day man, which is more antisocial. Makes sense to me in a very vague way.